Hello, I'm Lyn Jarvis, contributing editor for Across the Fence, and today I'm joined by WCX-TV Sharon Meyer for a tour of Spain in the springtime. Sharon, we had a great day yesterday. Now, what's on the itinerary for today?
Well, we're in Barcelona now, and of course that means the famous architect Gaudi. So we'll be going to the Sagrada Familia. We're also going to be taking a walk down the Rambla, and we'll be visiting the port. So there's lots to do here in Barcelona. We're also going to be meeting up with my former exchange student, Laia, who is going to be bringing us up to the northern part of Spain along the coast. You're going to love that because it's so pretty.
That sounds great, Sharon. We've got on our walking shoes, so let's get started.
This is what the Sagrada Familia is expected to look like upon its proposed completion date in 2026, the 100th anniversary of the death of architect Antonio Gaudi. He was 31 years old when hired to build the basilica. Abandoning all other commitments, he secluded himself and lived in the workshop. It's unlike any other house of worship in the world, with its fanciful sandcastle-like ensemble of twisting towers and swirling columns. No other architect has made stone look so fluid and free-flowing. It's not always pretty, but that's not the point. As Salvador Dali, an early fan, said, "Those who have not tasted his superbly creative bad taste are traitors." Construction languished after Gaudi's death in 1926, and the Sagrada Familia's future was uncertain with slow progress for many years. Then in 1992, Barcelona hosted the Olympic Games, and word spread about the amazing structure in the middle of the city. More people started to visit. Now some 2 million visitors a year pay $15 to tour the basilica, a never-ending source of income that makes construction unstoppable. Recently, local architect Jordi Fowley assumed control of the project, an excellent choice as he's been part of the architectural team for more than 20 years. He's committed to maintaining Gaudi's passionate vision for Sagrada Familia, a place of worship that reflects the relationship between man, nature, and God.
Next, we headed for the port, and traveling with us were Sharon's husband Rainey and Marco Ayala, the video editor for our show today. Barcelona is the second largest city in Spain and the largest on the Mediterranean Sea, with a population of almost 2 million people. The Olympic Marina has become one of the most popular places to visit for locals and tourists alike. Built for the Olympic Games as the site of the sailing competitions, it now contains 740 berths for yachts and pleasure boats. And right next to the marina is the Mare Magnum shopping mall, with dozens of shops that feature local and items from around the world. And guess what we found just inside? A Ben & Jerry's ice cream stand. And for a moment, we felt like we were back in Vermont. I remember back in 1984 when they sold stock in their company, and am sorry now that I didn't buy even one share. Even though we were almost 4,000 miles from home, my chunky monkey tasted like more, and we were proud to be Vermonters. After that treat, we felt like joining these spring breakers, but there was a lot more to see, like the old customs house, now converted into a museum. And this enormous statue of Christopher Columbus standing at the site where he landed after his historic voyage to the Americas in 1492. He lived in Portugal and sought funding for his expedition to the New World, but was turned down. Queen Isabella of Spain, however, agreed to finance his journey and named him Admiral and Governor of any lands he should find, a mistake that took Portugal many years to get over. I opted to break away from the group for a tour to Montserrat, a mountaintop monastery, home to some 80 Benedictine monks. Visitors from around the world ride the funicular to reach the spectacularly beautiful retreat, some 4,000 feet above the valley floor. While you look at some of the beauty of Montserrat, let me explain how it became a sacred place. In 880, some children saw a bright light descending from the sky and heard angels singing. The excited youth rushed home to tell their parents. The Bishop of Manresa was brought in and saw the same vision that happened above a cave, and when it was explored by church elders, they found this statue of the Black Madonna with its elongated face and thin body holding an orb of the universe in her hand and the Christ child on her lap. While listening to Escolania, one of the oldest and most renowned boys' choirs in Europe, their beginnings going back to the year 1223, the faithful pay homage. The most revered image in Spain, the Black Madonna sits at the front of the Santa Maria Monastery directly above the choir boys. The line to honor her never ends. The statue is actually behind a sheet of protective glass with just the hand holding the orb reaching out. It is tradition to kiss or touch her hand while opening your other hand, palm up, as an offering to Jesus. With the celebration over, the hundreds of faithful and curious filed out of the monastery, this being just a few of the 10 million that visit Montserrat every year. We just happened to be in Barcelona on St. Jordi Day, April 23rd. Our guide Maria explains.
Sant Jordi is one of the most important days for Catalonians. In fact, for me, it's the most important day. Well, it's our Patron's Day. In fact, on the 23rd of April, we do celebrate the death of William Shakespeare and Miguel de Cervantes. Anyway, it's our Book and Rose Day. It's almost our Lover's Day. Why is it so important? Have you ever heard about the legend of Sant Jordi? Well, Sant Jordi, legend says that he was a brave guy who saved the princess from the dragon. So he did kill the dragon, and from the blood of the dragon did appear roses. That's why the rose is a very important symbol for Catalonians. And so on this day, tradition says that girls used to receive a rose from their boyfriends or parents. Boys used to receive a book from their girlfriends or mothers. Now every combination is okay. But I mean, it's the Book and Rose Celebration Day. You will see the whole city of Barcelona or any city in Catalonia is celebrating this day. The city will be full of colorful roses, every color. And you'll also be able to find every book, ancient and new ones. Important Spanish and Catalan writers will be around the city, signing books. So it's the most beautiful day in Barcelona. What else can I say? I do really hope you enjoyed this Sant Jordi Day.
And enjoy it we did, along with several thousand others who are participating in the festivities along La Rambla on this lovely April afternoon.
The next morning, we met Laia Radois, the exchange student that Rainey and I hosted in 1995 and 1999. She'd be our guide for the rest of our time in Spain. On our way to her home, she told us about some of the things she wanted to show us.
Hello, we are in La Costa Brava, and I'll show you a Spanish horse stable, Cadaqués, and the ruins of Empúries. I hope you enjoy it.
It was nice to leave the hustle and bustle of Barcelona and head north to the Costa Brava region of Spain. Translated, it means wild coast, and it's 100 miles of rugged coastline in the northeastern corner of Spain, ending at the border of France. We would stay in the ancient village of Ulla, founded by a community of Augustinian monks in the late 17th century. Little has changed here, and we felt like we'd step back in time, and it was a wondrous feeling walking these ancient streets on this spring day. And this is the beautifully restored house where we stayed, with 2 levels and a loft, so there was plenty of room. You heard Maria say that Barcelona is in the Catalonian region of Spain. Well, so is Ulla. Catalonia is an autonomous region in the northeastern part of Spain, consisting of 4 provinces lying along the Balearic Sea. Catalonians are very proud of their own identity, much like we Vermonters are proud to be part of New England.
now join us for the excitement of going with Lya and her husband Severo to meet their children, Ruth and Paul, after a day at school. On the other hand, Paul wasn't quite as excited to meet us as his sister, but it didn't take long for him to get over that.
He's very shy.
He's very handsome.
The children wanted to bring us to a nearby riding school and stable, as they knew Sharon liked horses as much as their mother. It has been run for 3 generations by the same family, and their horses are sold throughout Europe. It looks like Lya has her eye on this horse that she would like to bring home, but I don't think Severo is up for that. And you can see it didn't take Sharon long to make friends with this beautiful Andalusian, known as the Spanish horse. We all decided that young Paul was going to be the next equestrian in the family, as he had no trouble riding this bucking bronco.
A place that we really wanted to see was Empúries, a gate chosen by the Greeks to enter the Iberian Peninsula, as well as the arrival of the Olympic flame for the 1992 Games in Barcelona, and to this day I remember how impressed I was with that ceremony. It covers about 100 acres and is the most visited archaeological site in Catalonia, founded by the Greeks back in 575 BC and later taken over by the Romans some 350 years later as a military outpost. It's one of the few places in the world that contain a mix of both of these civilizations that dominated the ancient world. The site was known by locals, but it wasn't until 1908 that serious excavations began and are still ongoing. Discoveries have included these tanks, once filled with water from the sea, to hold a never-ending supply of fresh fish. And this market and trading center with some of the original floor tiles still intact. Julius Caesar chose this spot to build homes for war veterans and military leaders in about 200 BC, and the Greek presence faded away. Remnants of these mansions with their mosaic-decorated floors can still be seen. Quite amazing that this was more than 2,000 years ago. And close by are the public baths that used underfloor heating fueled by wood-burning furnaces. The vast amount of water needed was supplied by aqueducts regulated by huge reservoirs in the bath complex. Besides assigned seating, there were even niches on the wall for removed sandals. While walking down the esplanade in front of the Roman Forum, we sensed the hustle and bustle of this ancient city, and for a moment became part of it. We lingered for a last look at Empúries' fortification wall with its hollow chamber for protection, to marvel at the talented and industrious people who lived here so long ago.
We have just time to visit Cauda Cay, the most easterly part of Spain, where the Pyrenees Mountains meet the sea just south of the French border. It has a population of some 2,000, but these numbers swell to 10 times that during the summer tourist season. We were there before the rush and pretty much had the town to ourselves, and it was an overcast day. What a good time we had skipping stones into the Mediterranean Sea, and little Paul thought if he threw hard enough, his stone could make it all the way to France. This isolated, picturesque village has inspired many artists over the years, the most famous being Salvador Dali. Of Cauda Cay, he said, "I have spent delightful summers in this dreamy town, quenched by its light and color. It remains my favorite spot." Well said, Mr. Dali. And from all of us here in the white city of Cauda Cay, we hope you have enjoyed exploring the Catalonian region of Spain along with us. For Across the Fence, I'm Lyn Jarvis, and we thank you for watching.